G'day crew, welcome to Go Fantasy. It's the round 13 Rage Trade edition. Brought to you by checkmyrate.au. Visit the website, it's free to use. Take control of your financial future. Halfway point of the season has been reached. Apologies for my voice, just battling a little bit of a cold at the moment. I've got the Dennis and Raymond combo in with the podcast studio at home with me. If you hear any snoring in the background. Nice to be with you again. Quite a week last week, so we're coming back with both barrels as we enter the second week of buys, and lots of potential incomings now that we've had a few teams with their week off. A lot easier week of trading than last week, that's for sure. And of course, we're hit with a bullet, as we always are. Sam Flanders has served us very well as a forward. He's been great in the back line in recent times. Unfortunately, he's hurt his Achilles and will spend the rest of the season on the sidelines. So we can't get through a week without another problem to deal with. And the forward line has been a challenge for us this season. So plenty of options going forward. So let's discuss quickly what we do with Flanders. So if you don't have Petracca, that feels like the best move off the bye for the Gold Coast Suns. If you already have him, it's a little more complex, isn't it? There's probably not a lot of options standing out in the forward line coming off the bye. Perhaps Tuke Miller, his lack of CBAs is a slight issue, but you can certainly trust Tuke as a fantasy player. He's served us very well over the years. Someone like a Jai Simpkin, again, who's been playing well recently, but occasionally getting the tagging role, that feels like a risk. Riley Sanders is having a superb season for the Western Bulldogs if you're willing to buy into a round 16 buy. But yeah, it's a little bit complex in the forward line. Maybe you're even trying to do a bit of DPP if you've got Milan or Jagger still sitting in the mids and grabbing one of those gun midfielders that's coming off the bye. Let me take a sip of coffee. All right, so Rage Trades targets for this week. Let me refer to my list. So I think if you have the opportunity to bring in a ruck, I really like Tristan Sherry. It's just that we probably all made our ruck moves last week, so I went a different road, given my team's terrible team value, and went Bailey Williams with the idea that he'd be able to cover some rucks during the buys, and I'd switch him into the forward line this week and bring in Tristan Sherry. So that was a different way to go off the back of Grundy being out instead of going Darcy Cameron, just with the still the potential of the pending birth of his child, and whether he potentially misses a week. Collingwood have got the bye coming up after this week. Jordan Dawson, probably one of the most talked about trading options this week. Still worth considering that they've got Geelong and whether Mullen gets that job. They've also got the Western Bulldogs the week after, which are currently a red team on the scale for midfielders. So it's not the easiest couple of weeks for Jordan Dawson. He is highly priced. But if you just want to get him into your team and not have to worry, then I can understand why you'd go for the Adelaide captain, who's having a really good year considering the tough personal circumstances he has faced. Hard to look at Luke Davies-Uniacke and not think he is tremendous value. He's $896k in fantasy, coming off the bye, and probably in the form of his life, having a great year with a bit more midfield support around him. I think the move of Finn O'Sullivan, that extra responsibility that he brings to that midfield group, really helping LDU. And then I guess the Port Adelaide trump card is Jason Horne-Francis. He's got West Coast this week. So up and down this season, that's always been the risk. I mean, I think we all started with him last year and he really let us down as our F1. But maybe you're willing to take that risk again. Feels like he's got a much better ceiling than most of those forward options outside of Petracca, who I think is clearly the best option this week as a forward. So, from a rookie perspective, not a lot out there, but Harry Kyle certainly looked good on debut for the Swans. Just a question of whether he keeps his spot. Someone like a Harry Cunningham who comes into the team, it's possible that Coxie might want to press Kyle ahead of him and play him in the back line. Roberts is still out. So let's wait and see what they do with Kyle. But certainly he looked good. I don't know if you guys saw that moment late in the game where he was bouncing through the middle of the ground and then hit lace out Isaac Heaney. It's probably not a bad way to keep his spot in the team. So other potential guys to look at this week. From a Suns perspective, certainly Matty Rao has struggled this year. Injury has been a problem, and perhaps lower stoppage, counts across the game has contributed to a lower scoring threshold for him, with less tackles and less stoppage possessions. Noah Anderson, shocking start to the year, but since the appendix has really come into his own. So that's why he's so well priced for what he can produce. At the moment, feels hard for me to go back there, given I started with him and it was such a letdown, but certainly a bit cheaper than Dawson, probably slightly more reliable than LDU, sort of in the scale and in the scheme of things. And then Worrell and Miller have been great defensively for Adelaide. I think Worrell probably more of a Supercoach pick. Miller, if you trust him to maintain the current level, you could go there in fantasy. But ultimately, Miller is having a career year, and you're probably getting what you pay for, and if not slightly above. So there's a few options for you. If you go to Goat Fantasy social media, there's a really good rundown by Luke, who's done a tremendous job with some of the targets for this week. Noble, another one at the Suns, who's been playing well above himself in recent times. If you believe the John Noble hype, he might be one that you can buy into. So just a couple of news updates from last night, speaking to a couple of clubs. So Nasai, Wangan and Miller are likely to return this week, but he's got to get through the main training on Friday. So expect Naz to get named to return for the Saints against the Swans on Sunday. And then Machito Owens and Liam Ryan also likely to return, which could put Charlie Banfield in a little bit of danger. So let's wait and see how that shakes down with the teams. And then Brodie Grundy will return for the Swans, of course, having a week off. But Laddam's playing really well, has certainly given Dean Cox something to think about. Justin McInerney likely to play. Callum Mills probably going to return. Hayden Young will be back for Freo. Caleb Sarong still a test. So he had a big session up in Brisbane over the weekends. But yeah, travelling with the calf was an interesting decision. He might be one more week, but officially, as it stands, he's a test pending medical appointments today. So we'll get an update on that later. All right, I'm off to Geelong today. There'll be more content coming your way if my voice holds up. But yeah, appreciate your time. Rage trade's out the way. Let's get stuck into a big week. We'll catch you soon on Go Fans.